I'm a top banker, so I think I deserve to remarry a beautiful and capable woman. Being with someone like you just brings me bad luck. I'm divorcing you because you don't earn any money. What about our child? What will happen to her? I asked. Take care of Emily yourself. I'm having a new child with my girlfriend, he responded. My husband, who had left me and our daughter Emily, and even got his girlfriend pregnant, announced he was remarrying. Fed up with his behavior, I decided to get a divorce. After the divorce was finalized, I still had some important things to deal with. When I went to his workplace, I saw my husband and his girlfriend, both smirking as they walked towards me. Missed me so much you came all the way to my office. You're just a housewife with no money. Probably here to take some of the savings, right? He sneered. They looked in on me like I was trash, but I stayed calm and said, I came to withdraw $12 million. What? My husband was shocked when he found out I had won a big lottery prize and started begging for forgiveness. My name is Jennifer Brown. I'm 32 years old. Since I was a child, I dreamed of working in elderly care because I wanted to help others. After high school, I went to a vocational school for elder care and achieved my dream. Working as a caregiver was tough but fulfilling, especially when patients thanked me. One day, a coworker invited me to a social event where I met my future husband, Michael Brown. My first thought was that he was handsome. I wanted to talk to him, but he seemed quiet and maybe not into social gatherings. However, as we walked to the station together, we started chatting, and I discovered he was surprisingly talkative and enjoyable to be around. Michael was shy, not distant or uninterested. I found this contrast charming. We grew close quickly and eventually decided to get married. Later on, I found out through mutual friends that Michael had another girlfriend when we first met. Discovering Michael's double life was shocking, especially since we were already married by then. Despite this, I chose to believe that he truly loved and chose me for who I am. In the early days of our marriage, we had a lot of fun together. We enjoyed going to sports games and movies, soaking in the excitement of being newlyweds. One of our shared hobbies was buying lottery tickets. It all started when we stumbled upon a lottery booth during a sports event and bought our first sports lottery ticket out of curiosity. To our surprise, we won, probably beginner's luck. Although it wasn't a huge amount, it got us hooked, and we started buying small amounts regularly. We'd sometimes decide to buy a ticket if we felt lucky that day or if our horoscope seemed promising. This became one of the few hobbies we both enjoyed together. Around our 4th year of marriage, I started thinking about fertility treatments since we were struggling to have children. But then, unexpectedly, I became pregnant with our first child. Great job, Jennifer. We're finally going to be parents, Michael said, overwhelmed with joy and tears in his eyes when the pregnancy test showed positive. I'm so happy, but let's celebrate properly after we visit the OB/GYN. I'm nervous, but I have a feeling everything will be okay. Just a hunch, I replied. The next day, filled with nerves, we went to the OB/GYN. When the doctor confirmed the pregnancy on the ultrasound and said, "Congratulations, you're pregnant," I saw it with my own eyes. I was ecstatic. I immediately texted Michael from the waiting room. I'm pregnant. Just entered the 5th week. Once we're past the risky period, we need to tell both our parents, I messaged. He read it immediately and replied, "Really? That's fantastic. I'm so happy. Thank you. Drive home safely, Jennifer." He usually took forever to reply, but this time he must have been really thrilled. I returned home, relishing in our joy. That night, we had so much to look forward to. Michael, do you hope for a boy or a girl? Tough call. I'd be happy with either, but if it's a girl, I might find it hard to let her go when she gets married. With a boy, we can play together a lot when he's little. Yeah, maybe, but if it's a girl, I'd love to talk about crushes and things like that with her. We enjoyed light-hearted conversations like this over dinner. Eventually, we found out the baby's gender. Pregnancy was tough, but with Michael's support, I had a happy and relatively smooth maternity experience. Time flew by, and I safely gave birth to a beautiful baby girl. We named her Emily. We talked about facing challenges together as a couple, but things changed after pregnancy and childbirth. I decided to quit my job as a caregiver, which had been physically demanding and involved night shifts, making it difficult to continue. This change drastically shifted Michael's attitude. When we were both working full-time, we shared household chores. But once I became a stay-at-home mom, he started saying things like, "You were home all day, right? Why didn't you clean? And you have plenty of time. Make more elaborate meals." He started criticizing me more often. As his behavior changed, our marriage slowly lost its spark. We still shared the same bed, but there was no closeness between us. "I'm only here because I have nowhere else to go. I don't want to be near you," he would say. I wanted to tell him to sleep somewhere else, but I couldn't bring myself to say it. We hardly had any real conversations anymore. When I tried to talk to him, he either wouldn't listen or would give indifferent responses. "Hey, I watched this drama yesterday," I'd say. "Aha," he'd reply. "Listen, Emily did this today," I'd add. "Sure," he'd respond. Our interactions dwindled down to brief exchanges like "aha" and "sure," with no depth or interest from his side. He rarely engaged in conversation unless he was upset. Once, when he was angry, he said, "What's with this meal? It's too bland. I can't eat this." "I thought less seasoning would be healthier," I explained. "Shut up. You can't cook, you can't clean, useless at everything. Who else would have married you, huh?" he often said. Eventually, he even started treating Emily, who was only 3 years old, coldly. "Daddy, look, I drew this," she would say, showing him her drawing. "So what?" he would respond. No child could feel close to a father like that. Despite everything, I kept trying not to upset my husband and avoid arguments. Lately, though, I've been wondering, am I just a housekeeper disguised as a stay-at-home mom? At home, he treats us like that, but outside, he's a successful banker at a major bank. My friends even envy me, saying, "Wow, you have a banker husband. You two are a power couple, and he seems so devoted to you, Jennifer." But that's just his public image. Once, at a friend's wedding, he declared in front of everyone, "Jennifer is amazing at cooking, cleaning, and laundry. She's a fantastic wife." My friends cheered, impressed. But the reality is different. He's indifferent towards Emily and me at home, behaving abusively. He's a completely different person outside, selfish and uncaring. He disappears for weekends without explanation, returns in the early hours, and never helps with household chores or childcare. During weekdays, I don't know when he finishes work or where he goes. He comes home late, and if I ask, he snaps. "It's none of your business where I am or what I'm doing. Just be thankful that someone as successful as me brings money home." He even said, "You're at home all day but can't even manage the household chores properly. Don't complain to someone like me, an elite. You've lost all your charm, not even looking like a woman anymore." His words shocked me, leaving me in tears the first time he said them. Despite everything, I tried numerous times to mend our relationship. However, with him rarely at home or in a bad mood early in the mornings, we grew increasingly distant, living like strangers under the same roof. People might think I should have divorced him sooner. Honestly, I'd often considered it myself. But could I, as a stay-at-home mom, raise Emily alone? Could I find a job if I started looking now? Would I be able to fulfill Emily's dreams like hobbies or college? Could I provide her with a comfortable life? These worries weighed heavily on my mind. One day, while I was alone at the supermarket doing our grocery shopping, I noticed a lottery booth tucked away in the corner with a sign that read "Lucky Day." As I stood there at the lottery booth, memories flooded back of the times when Michael and I used to buy tickets together whenever we saw that "Lucky Day" sign. Those were such good times, now seeming like a distant past. It struck me how much Michael had changed. Filled with a sense of desperation, I decided to buy a ticket on my own for the first time in a long while. Might as well, I thought to myself. I briefly considered telling my husband about the ticket. Perhaps if we won, it could bring back those carefree conversations we used to have, dreaming about our future plans and adventures together. Holding on to that faint hope, I headed back home. But as usual, my husband didn't return until after 10 p.m. After putting Emily to bed, I was sitting on the living room sofa watching TV when I received a call from my husband's phone. "Hello, what time will you be home?" I answered. "Is this Michael's wife?" A strange woman's voice replied. A chill ran down my spine, sensing something was wrong. Who is this?" I asked. "I'm Lily, Michael's girlfriend. Your husband is sleeping right next to me," the woman said. "I've wanted to talk to you. I love Michael and he loves me too. Honestly, he told me you're like a maid to him and he's done with you. I think he's going to ask for a divorce soon, so you should start preparing." The shock and betrayal hit me hard as I listened to her words. I was furious with my cheating husband, though sadly, it wasn't a surprise. I had suspected his infidelity for a while. He always came home late on weekdays, was absent on weekends, and was secretive with his phone. The lack of intimacy between us only fueled my suspicions. So when Lily, his mistress, spoke so confidently and unapologetically, it disgusted me to hear how casually she admitted to their affair. Is that so? I need to hear this from Michael first. I'll hang up for now. We can discuss this more later, I managed to say, trying to keep my composure. No, talking to Michael won't change anything. In fact, I'm pregnant. It's Michael's child. Please start the divorce process soon, for the sake of our baby, she insisted. Her words stunned me. Pregnant? You must be lying. It's true. Michael has promised to support me and the baby. As a successful banker, he plans to marry me and raise our child together. It's time for a wife swap. Can you send Michael's belongings over soon? Her audacity stunned me. I had our precious daughter at home, and the thought of Michael flaunting himself as a successful banker sickened me. Too exhausted to argue or shout, I calmly asked, "All right, can you give me your address?" "Wow, you're surprisingly cooperative," she remarked. "The address is—" I noted it down and ended the call. Around midnight, Michael finally returned home. I confronted him about the call from his mistress, and he didn't hesitate to confess to the affair. Yeah, she spilled everything. I'm an elite banker, and I'm planning to marry Lily, who's beautiful and capable. I thought having someone like you, a gloomy stay-at-home mom, might be useful, but being with you just brings me bad luck. I'm divorcing you, a useless, unemployed woman. His words were like daggers piercing my heart. Bad luck? Useless? Just a stay-at-home mom. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. But what about Emily, our daughter? I asked, trying to stay strong. Michael, what about Emily? You take care of Emily. I have a new child on the way with Lily. I'll pay alimony, of course. As a high earner, it's no problem for me, unlike you, he replied coldly. His complete lack of remorse and disregard for our daughter made me question if he had any humanity left. In that moment, something inside me snapped. I couldn't feel anything for a man like him anymore. I knew I had to protect Emily on my own. Michael, unprompted, began talking about Lily. Apparently, she's a 24-year-old new employee, popular and beautiful. I'm leaving you for a young and cute girl like her to start a new life, he boasted, his eyes gleaming with pride. I couldn't even muster tears after being insulted and betrayed by both my husband and his mistress. I simply wished them nothing but misery. That day, Michael packed a few things and left, saying, "I'll send the divorce papers once everything's sorted." He never returned home after that, likely staying with Lily. I started preparing for the divorce process. I consulted a lawyer about alimony arrangements before officially filing, as I knew it was wise to be prepared. Following Lily's address, I sent Michael's belongings to replace and began packing to move back to my parents' house with Emily. While cleaning up, I found more of Michael's things and reached out to him. "I found more of your stuff while cleaning," I texted. "My mistake. I'll come pick it up tomorrow," was his casual reply. I handed over the divorce papers and Michael's belongings, feeling a mix of disbelief and disgust as I faced them both at my doorstep. Lily's words cut deep, her disregard for my feelings and the situation evident. "Nice to meet you, ex-wife. I'm feeling sick from the pregnancy. Did you sign the divorce papers? Can you hurry up and finish the divorce?" she said coldly. She was undeniably beautiful and much younger than me. Seeing Michael support her, pregnant with his child, only intensified my discomfort. All I wanted was for them to leave as soon as possible. "Here are the divorce papers and your belongings," I said tersely, handing them over. I handed over the signed divorce papers, and Michael snatched them, hastily scrawled his signature, and tossed them back at me. "There you go. Make sure to file them today," he said dismissively. Sure, I replied, trying to keep my composure. With that, they left, and I breathed a sigh of relief, knowing I had another important matter to attend to once the divorce was finalized. I received the alimony in a lump sum, which wasn't surprising given Michael's constant boasting about being an elite banker. A week later, I found myself at the bank where my ex-husband worked, handling an important task. Ignoring Michael, I focused on what I needed to do, but he couldn't resist taunting me. "Miss me, you really can't let go, can you?" he sneered, approaching with a smirk. Then Lily emerged from the back. "Oh, look who it is. The ex-wife. What are you here for, scraping together savings?" I was tired of their sarcasm. "No, I'm here to collect something. What? $12 million? I declared, relishing the shock on their faces. That's right. The lottery ticket I bought on a whim at the supermarket turned out to be a jackpot winner. When Michael and I used to buy tickets together, it was a fun hobby. We checked the results eagerly. But this time, since I bought it alone, I didn't expect much and casually checked online. Then I saw the message, "Congratulations on your win." At first, I thought it was a small prize, but as I scrolled down, I couldn't believe my eyes. $12 million. I counted the digits in disbelief. $12 million. I was stunned, staring at the screen in shock. That day, I was so overwhelmed that I could barely manage any housework or childcare. The next day, I opened my laptop to double-check, and yes, it was still $12 million. I read up on what to do after winning, still feeling like I was floating on air. It all seemed surreal. I even consulted a lawyer to understand if a lottery win before finalizing the divorce would be divided as assets. They assured me that since the divorce was due to Michael's actions and our marriage had already broken down, the winnings wouldn't be subject to division. When I explained this to both of them, they were in disbelief. What? Why didn't you tell us? That should be split between us, right? It's not fair if you get all the money. Michael protested. That's not possible. You cheated, got your mistress pregnant, and now you expect to claim my lottery winnings. It doesn't work that way. I've already confirmed it with a lawyer, I responded firmly. No, that's a lie, Michael shouted, his voice filled with anger. How the hell did you win that much? You never had this kind of luck when you were with me. It's not fair that you get to keep it all. Maybe being with a gloomy woman like me wasn't your problem after all. Maybe you were the one bringing down the luck, I shot back. Lily, clearly irritated, interjected, What's wrong with this woman, Michael? Let's go. It doesn't matter how much money she has. Come on, let's leave. But to my surprise, Michael didn't move. Instead, he said something completely unexpected. Jennifer, I'm sorry. Let's get back together. I was wrong to belittle you and have an affair. Let's start over. What? What are you saying? You promised to support me and the baby. You said you loved me, and now you want to go back to your ex-wife. Lily exclaimed, her voice filled with hurt and disbelief. But with $12 million, we could quit our jobs, buy a house, get a nice car, and travel the world. It would be amazing, Michael pleaded, his eyes fixed on the money. His words disgusted me. You truly are the worst. Living with someone like you all these years makes me sick. I'm sorry for everything. I'll treat you better from now on, I promise. Please think about it, he said, grasping my arm tightly. I was so furious that I snapped. Don't touch me. Startled by my outburst, Michael recoiled. Just then, someone from the back heard the commotion and stepped forward. What's happening here, Michael? It was the branch manager. Michael and Lily looked flustered by the unexpected interruption. It's nothing, really, Michael stammered, clearly uncomfortable under the manager's scrutiny. I heard everything from the staff. Are you sure there's nothing going on? The branch manager questioned, his tone serious. Michael began to explain, but the manager interrupted sharply. I'll discuss your personal matters with Lily later, he said firmly. My ex-husband and Lily paled visibly. An affair, a pregnant mistress, and causing a scene in the bank. It was a messy situation. Tough luck, I thought. Then the branch manager turned to me. Ma'am, I apologize deeply for the discomfort this has caused you, he said sincerely. Michael and Lily followed suit, offering their apologies. It seemed obligatory, especially after the manager had expressed regret. Oh, it's fine, I managed to reply, feeling somewhat overwhelmed by the unexpected turn of events. You're here to withdraw your big lottery win, right? Let me assist you, the branch manager offered graciously. With his help, I withdrew my winnings and overnight became a millionaire. Days later, my ex-husband bombarded me with calls. Initially, I ignored them, but eventually I reluctantly answered. Hello. Jennifer, thank God you picked up, he said urgently. What do you want? I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. Since that day, my boss has been furious. He says someone like me harms the bank's reputation. Isn't that awful, despite all my hard work? He whined over the phone. I sighed heavily, understanding the gravity of the situation. Maybe your boss has a point. Perhaps he's concerned that your actions could jeopardize the bank's integrity in the long run, I replied calmly. My response seemed to strike a nerve. So my hard work was all for nothing, huh? Well, whatever. Your opinion on my job doesn't matter to me anymore, he retorted before I hung up. It felt satisfying to finally express my feelings. Later, through an acquaintance, I learned that my ex-husband had been demoted and transferred to a distant branch as punishment for the turmoil he caused due to his affair. Additionally, Lily, witnessing my ex-husband's attempt to reconcile with me after learning about my lottery win, confronted him in a fury. She said to him, "Actually, the baby isn't yours. Maybe I had other potential husbands, you know? I thought you were a high-flying banker, but I don't need a demoted, unstable one. I'll find someone better. Goodbye." With that, she left the bank and disappeared. Lily had entertained thoughts of remarrying my ex, believing he was an elite banker. However, upon realizing he was just an average employee with uncertain prospects, she changed her mind. It was a tale scarier than horror itself. My ex-husband was abandoned by his mistress, rejected by his wife and child, and his job was now on the line. It was a fitting consequence for his actions. With my lottery winnings, I moved into a condo with my daughter. While the money could have allowed me to stop working, I opted to stay financially responsible and soon return to my nursing career. It was important to me to save for my daughter's future and avoid unnecessary spending. However, I also wanted us to enjoy some luxury, so I planned a trip to Hawaii with my daughter and parents. Staying at a beautiful hotel and being able to treat my parents while creating lasting memories with my daughter was truly special. Looking forward, I'm eager to explore more places with my daughter, discover new interests together, and find hobbies we both enjoy. I'm excited about this new phase of life filled with happiness and adventures alongside my wonderful daughter.